12/9/2024. We have just now entered chapter 18 out of the book of Proverbs in the Bible. So we are going to get through verses 1 through 12 today on this episode of Stand Tall. In estrangement, one seeks pretext. With all persistence, he picks a quarrel. In estrangement, so persistently seeking a quarrel, and you're seeking reasons to find the fight, and that is going to lead you to estrangement. The fool takes no delight in understanding, but rather in displaying what he thinks. This kind of reminds me of just like many times when someone's like, I know how to do it, they don't take any instructions, and they don't ask questions if they don't know how. So a fool is going to take no delight in understanding, because he's not going to want to ask questions because he doesn't want to seem like the fool, when really if you don't know what to do, you need to ask and wait and find out how. With wickedness comes contempt, and with disgrace comes scorn. So the wickedness comes, and so this is even in your own life with the amount of sins that you can and have maybe committed since you're only human. You know, the wickedness is going to bring contempt, and the scorn of on yourself from the disgrace is going to be interesting as well. In the sense of, it's interesting to think of in the sense of like you are able to kind of like put this torment on yourself. The words from a man's mouth are deep waters, but the source of wisdom is a flowing brook. The source of wisdom is a flowing brook. It's going to be shallow. It's going to be clear. You're going to be able to see through it. You're going to know that it's wise words, but the words from a man's mouth are deep waters. They're scary. You don't know what's lurking within them, so be careful about what people say. It is not good to be partial to the guilty, and so reject a rightful claim. The fool's lips lead him into strife, and his mouth provokes a beating. Just from my personal experience, being the fool in the past, being somebody who has said things that have caused difficulty, whether in my own life or for those around me who only are trying to help me, and then being like provoking a beating in the sense of like telling someone, hey, like coach said to do this, like we've got to clean up, and having that person, you know, challenge back and be like, what did you say? And it was like, we had this conversation with the coach. He sat the whole football team and talked about it. You need to put that back because you acted out in anger. You know, that's not being foolish. I'm trying to enforce the discipline of the higher power of the coach in this regards, but it still provoked a beating when I probably should have just kept my mouth shut. The fool's mouth is his ruin. His lips are a snare to his life. The words of a talebearer are like dainty morsels that sink into one's inmost being. The man who is slack in his work is own brother to the man who is destructive. Okay, so the man who is kind of lazy in work is brother to the man who is destructive. And so that means that like maybe Cain and Abel references here, or maybe something deeper personally within me in my life. I'm not sure, but you know, the man who is slack in his work is brother to the man who is destructive. And I think it just kind of says like these two things go together. You know, laziness, strife, all of these things kind of come out of that. So don't be slack in your work. Don't be destructive. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The just man runs to it and is safe. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. He fancies it a high wall. And so being rich is different than being wise and being wealthy, as the book of Proverbs has told us, right? It's better to be poor and wise than rich and a fool. And that's why a rich man insists that his wealth is a high wall when it really means nothing in the eyes of the Lord. Before his downfall, a man's heart is haughty, but humility goes before honors. And I like wrapping up with this one, because a man's heart is haughty right before his downfall. And you can't even say haughty without being haughty almost in the way that you say it. You know, it comes with like pride and arrogance, and what it means is like right as you've won, right as you're feeling on the up and up, right as you are put in that position of like, I just won, it means don't rest on your laurels. Stay humble, right? Humility goes before honors. So as we move forward into the week, Let's remember to be humble, and that is what's going to bring your house honor. That's what's going to bring honor to you.